Every once in a while, I'll stop recording and restart because my computer is so old, and I notice if like I'm recording a really long video, weird things will start happening, like the audio will go out of sync, which you would think would be a simple fix. Like all you do is just, move the audio and sync it, but then you move it, like if you detach the audio and move it, a few minutes later it goes out of sync again, so you have to detach it again and move it and detach it again, and it's just pain in the behind. That's what I wanted to talk about. I remember now, so I'm gonna have to make more than one video. I am so funny because I had this thing I want to talk about. I turned on my camera, forgot what I wanted to talk about for this vlog, and spent a half hour talking about health problems. So, not that it was like so horrific and I'm crying or anything, it was more of a health update, but it wasn't what I wanted to talk about. I remember what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about my hair. So, first, I thought I would talk about the reason why I stopped relaxing my hair in the first place. I guess before I can talk about the reason why I stopped relaxing my hair, I have to talk about the reason why I was relaxing it. And the reason why I relaxed it was because that's just what you did. Okay? It wasn't really something I had a choice in. Not that it was forced on me, but it was just something that you did. At some point in my childhood, my mother, I guess, like hot combed my hair or blow dried it and hot combed it. And then as I got older, she tried relaxing it with one of those home kits. But it's funny because my mom doesn't do it anymore because she just doesn't want to. But she always would relax her own hair, and then she would just go to the salon to just have it styled and cut. But her hair is a looser texture than mine, and home relaxing kits have never worked on me. My hair is very thick and very coarse, and I have a very high curl retention. So you really have to use professional relaxer, period. But anyway, she tried the home kits, which honestly, it pretty much looked the same as if she blow dried it and hot combed it, to be honest. And then eventually, early teens, I started going to a hairdresser. No, no, I don't remember. I think she used to try to relax it, and then she stopped, and then she took me to a salon to have it pressed, and then eventually started relaxing it professionally. I think I can't remember the exact timeline, but it was just something you did. It wasn't like I thought about it and said, "Mom, I want to have my hair relaxed." That's what you did. I didn't see a lot of girls my age that didn't have their hair relaxed or at least straightened, pressed. I remember seeing a couple girls that wore their hair natural, but that was elementary school. Nobody did it in high school. Nobody did in high school, and if they did have their hair unrelaxed, they had their hair in braids or in a weave. There was no way I could not relax my hair in high school because I was already getting bullied. It would have just been worse. You just didn't do it. But you don't think to question these things. You don't think about, well, why do I have to relax my hair? You would never think to say, well, let me not relax my hair and see what it looks like. Why? Like it was like the concept of just leaving your hair alone was it may as well have been astrophysics. That is just how so far removed from the concept of not relaxing my hair was. It was just not something that you did. By the time I reached college, I kind of experimented more with my hair being relaxed. One day I saw that my hair still had a decent curl retention. Eventually I would stop blow drying it, and I would still have these curls. Obviously, nowhere near close to my natural curl pattern, but it was so pretty, and no one said anything. I did that for years. I would still get my hair relaxed. So basically, before this whole natural hair movement came in, I was basically texturizing my hair. But it wasn't because I didn't like my curl pattern. It just didn't occur to me to stop relaxing my hair. It wasn't like I saw my natural hair and said, hell no, let's relax this crap. It just didn't occur to me. But mentally, I was heading in that direction. Eventually, I ended up joining the military. So, some of you who have followed me for a long time probably remember a video that I eventually took down of me cutting off all my hair. And the reason why, and this was so frustrating, was because these two black women, one of them was a petty officer and one of them was a chief select, meaning that she was a first class petty officer that was selected to be promoted to a chief. I'm explaining this to people who don't know anything about the military. Out of nowhere, started harassing me about my hair. Mind you, I had already been in the military for an entire year at that point. No one ever bothered me about my hair. No one in boot camp bothered me about my hair. And there were black people there. No one bothered me in A school about my hair. And there were black people there. And that was a training base, and a lot of times they're more strict because they're trying to get you together before you get to your permanent duty station. And no one had a problem with my hair. As a matter of fact, there were chiefs, there were black petty officers that were like, I like your hair. And as long as the length and everything was in regulations, no one cared. So suddenly, after a year of no one bothering me, these two women were telling me that my hair looked like dreadlocks. Now, what is wrong with that? Dreadlocks are dreadlocks. Okay? My hair was kind of like wavy because it was relaxed, but it wasn't dreadlocks. What bothered me the most about the situation was at that command, yeah, it was mostly men. But nobody would stand up for me. And it pissed me off because their excuses were, I don't know anything about hair, or I don't know anything about black hair. You don't have to know anything about black hair. Does my hair look like dreadlocks or not? It doesn't matter if you're a man or not. I'm sorry, but you can tell if someone's hair is knotted up. I think those two women were just so used to seeing black women with weaves and straight hair that the only thing they can come up with when they saw anything else was that it was dreadlocks. Even though nowhere close to dreadlocks. And the sad part is, in reality, all I had to do was just get a flat iron, slick it down, and put it back, and everything would have been fine. But because they kept bothering me about it, it might have been the Asperger's, and that I didn't know I have. I'm just like, shut them up, shut up. So the easiest thing for me to do was to cut it off and just walk around with no hair. But it was really hurtful because it was the first time that someone told me that my hair wasn't right. It's not even the same as being bullied for your hair, because that's just someone saying you're different or I don't like your hair. This is someone saying your hair isn't correct. I still stand by that my hair was in regulations and it didn't look like dreadlocks. I wonder how those women feel now. That things have changed in the military. But anyway, that was a really hard thing for me. On the outside, I pretended like it didn't bother me that much. Oh, it's just hair. And at the end of the day, it was just hair. But, it still bothered me because, like I said, I went a whole year in the military and no one ever bothered me until that moment. There was another person at that command, a black woman, who ended up doing my hair. She added a weave. But I was miserable. I didn't like it. And it was actually the first time I ever had a weave. I had box braids before, and I never had a weave before in my life. And it was glue-on. I never done a sewn-on. I hated it. I hated it so much. It was weird. because before I joined the military, I wore wigs all the time. And I loved it because if I felt like having this color hair or this length, I collected wigs. But at the end of the day, I could wear my real hair. That glue on weave was so different because it was the equivalent of slavering full coverage foundation on and then putting Crisco on. I felt the weave, and I felt it in a way that I don't feel wigs. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. But when I wear wigs, it's almost the same as wearing a scarf. But when I wore weaves, it was like putting a scarf on top of a scarf. But anyway, I was miserable. At that point, I just was regularly relaxing my hair. I found a hairstylist, started getting my hair relaxed and taken care of, back to the pattern that I thought I was never going to go back to, getting it styled. I was over it though. Eventually, I obviously got out of the military in a way that I never thought it would ever happen. And I ended up keeping the relaxed hair because that was what my abuser wanted. And the thing is, when you are with an abusive person, you're not thinking logically anyway. You may as well have a chip in your head and be on drugs at the same time. But you are constantly tiptoeing around that person, but you're also doing everything they want, because even though you know deep down inside that nothing that you do is going to make them stop abusing you, you keep thinking it's going to. So even though I did not want all this hair, I kept it because it's what the abuser wanted. I don't like calling him my ex-husband. I will either say ex or abuser, because I feel like in order to say ex-husband, you had to have had a husband, and I never had a husband. I had an abuser. I had a boyfriend because he wasn't abusing me when we were dating, but I didn't have a husband. I had an abuser, and I happened to have this document that said we were married. But anyway, so he wanted it long and straight. So that's what I did. Eventually, I got out of that relationship. When I got out of that relationship, everything was amplified as far as stress. I already had some PTSD symptoms because complex PTSD is a little different. So I was already messed up. But once I left the relationship, all this stuff that I didn't think was going to come up came up. So I was a complete mess. And I stressed over things that I never would stress over. But there was a moment I was stressing over getting a touch-up. For those of you who don't understand that, just like if you were to get your hair colored, when you relax your hair, chemically relax your hair, eventually you're going to have roots of your natural hair. So you got to get a touch-up. And the thing is, once it gets to a certain point, your hair does not cooperate with you anymore. It's like your roots start coming in, and then your hair is like, ding! And it's like even putting your hair in a ponytail is just a pain in the behind. So I needed a touch up badly. I was just stressing out trying to get the money together and the time together. I was trying to contact the person, and I was just stressing out. And finally I sat back and I said, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Why am I stressing out over relaxer? I don't even want my hair relaxed. And I realized that I was like, I don't even want my hair relaxed. It was just the habit of doing it. I have no problem with relaxers, by the way. You do what you want to do. If you want to have straight hair, curly hair, green hair, short hair, long hair, whatever makes you feel like you, please do it. Okay, so it has nothing to do, it's nothing, it's not relaxers that I have a problem with. It just wasn't me. And I'm like, I'm stressing over this, making an appointment and having to pay money for something I don't even want. I sat back. I had to ask myself, why do you want your hair relaxed? And the answer wasn't because I want my hair straight, because if that was the answer, fine. But my answer ended up being because that's what you do. And when I realized that, I was like, screw this. At that moment, I don't, how many years ago was this? It was 2012 or the beginning of 2013, not sure. I was like, I'm not doing this. And I went ahead and bleached the relaxed hair because I was going to eventually cut it anyway. I had like a bunch of different colors in my hair because I didn't care. And eventually I chopped my hair off, and haven't relaxed it since. There is not a moment that I regret quitting the relaxers. I've said to myself before, I'm just going to do what I want to do. You never know. A year from now, 5 years from now, I might suddenly want my hair straight. And fine. But right now, I'm happy with my hair. I mean, there's been times I've been frustrated with my hair, but I think that's less about my hair being kinky and more about just me being frustrated with my hair. I think if I had Caucasian hair, I think I would be frustrated at certain points. So, back to the story, the first thing I did was grow it out. And I think that was mainly because I really never saw my texture before outside of the little roots that come in when you get your hair relaxed. So I think I just wanted to grow it out. But after growing it out, I started getting bored of it, I guess. I started getting bored of it. It was starting to get tedious. I started to understand why there were so many jokes about wash day, because it would literally take like 12 hours for my hair to dry, and that's not an exaggeration. My hair is very thick. Eventually, I ended up completely buzzing it off, and I remember the day. I still remember buzzing it off because I could have sworn I was like a good foot off of the ground because I felt like I was levitating. It was something I never done before. I never shaved off my hair, like all my hair, and it felt so good. And I was just smiling that whole day. It felt so good. And I got nothing but compliments. And I remember people saying, "Oh man, I wish I had the courage to do it." Or people kept telling me over and over again, like, "Oh, you have the perfect head shape from it." I think it's so cute. And then there was the cycle that you guys saw. Buzz it off, let it grow in, bleach it blonde, and then when some roots come in, I throw a color on it, and then I cut it down, and blah, 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 blah. Recently, I don't know. It's not that I'm bored with having short hair, because I absolutely love it. There was a point in the past couple years where I had this intense need to cut it, if that makes any sense. Like when it got to a certain length, it's like I have to cut it. So I would either buzz it off or I would have Derek help me trim it. It was like this intense craving, like I have to cut it. The same thing with bleaching it. I'm like, I need to get it blonde. Not that I don't like my natural hair color, but I was just like, I just had this intense need. I need it to be purple. And so it's not like I'm over bleaching or cutting my hair. I all feel like I have to, like, I need to do it. I'm kind of like in limbo right now because I'm like, keeping it short is so easy, but it would be interesting to grow it out. But I don't feel like going through all that. I think the thing is that what works for short hair doesn't work for long hair, obviously. When I grew up my hair the first time, I had a routine or a certain conditioner or a certain leave-in that worked fine, and then my hair got to a certain length, and my hair is like, please, I'm an adult now. I don't want this. And I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Like, and it was just like I had to keep learning what was going to make my hair happy, and I think that was one of the reasons what got frustrating. I think I let the internet get to me because originally, if you found my Pinterest, you will find that I have a board that's all hair, and it's either pins of different hair colors or it's pins of natural hair. I love big hair, just not on me. It's the same thing with makeup. I love makeup. I have a makeup board. I love makeup, just not on me. And that doesn't make any sense, I know. And I could spend hours looking at beautiful afros and not at all desire it. But suddenly, within the past like 3 months, I found myself saying, no, I actually want that. Especially when I saw pictures of women with very tight curl patterns that had this hair like, and I'm just like, I'm like, don't do this. I'm like, I kind of want this, but I kind of don't. I think one of the reasons why I want to grow my hair out. Also, it's not just because of the big hair. I never really gave long, kinky hair a chance. It was like as soon as it got to a certain length, I was like, shave. And I never really gave it a chance. The other thing is, I want to learn more about protective styles. I don't know how to cornrow at all. And I want to know how to do that. I want to be able to do it to my own hair. I'm so jealous of people who can just do all these amazing things to my hair. I want to be able to do box braids on my own hair. I know that that can be a handful and it's time consuming, but I want to be able to do it. You don't have to have extremely long hair, obviously, for stuff like that, but can't have buzz cut for that. Like I said, I just feel like I haven't given long hair a chance. I just think it wasn't the right time for me when I did it. It just was not at all the right time. I needed short hair. And I think now I might be able to mentally handle having long hair. Now, especially now over the years that I've learned more and more, gotten more opinions, have more resources. I don't know why I felt the need to talk about my hair because I'm like, who the heck cares about this? But then again, if you clicked on this video, you know that I'm probably going to talk about myself. So you probably don't mind so much, but and I never gave myself a big poofy afro. And I think I should be able to do that one time. The one thing about that is not coloring my hair, at least until it's a certain length. Coloring it when it's really short is a weird situation because you have these roots come in and you can't touch them up. I might be able to if I had straight hair, but not with my kink. I also want to learn about different ways to lighten hair before I go bleaching the crap out of it at 30 volume for an hour. That's just not the way I want to do it if I'm actually trying to grow out my hair. I've already have a plan. I've figured out a way that I can bleach it, not with no damage because there's no such thing as it, but minimal damage where I can maintain a curl pattern. And I may not do it. I might end up having long hair and saying I like it the way it is, or I might just bleach the ends, or but we'll see. I got this scarf. What do you think of this? I got this for $1 at Walmart. This scarf. It's actually it's a infinity scarf, but I just cut it at the seam, and obviously no one's gonna see this because it gets wrapped up. But yeah, it was put on clearance for $1, and I got the white one for $1 too, and I got this one for $1. And like I said, they were all infinity scarves, and I just cut them. If I've ever worn a scarf making a video, it was probably an infinity scarf that I just cut. It's so funny because it's at the point where it starts actually curling, so it looks like my hair is thinning. But that's just because there's the individual each individual curl. But once it gets longer, it won't look like that anymore. I feel that if you look in the mirror and you don't look like yourself, like the way you envision yourself, it can be a problem. It's not even about self-confidence, or even, it's not even about like beauty. Like, I think I'm beautiful when I have short hair or long hair. It's really about, I look like myself. I don't know if that makes any sense, because it really isn't about beauty. It's just about, I look like myself, and of course, sometimes you're going to feel different. And months and months ago, I wouldn't have been myself with my natural hair color, because at that point in my life, me being myself was having blonde hair or anything other than my natural color. But at this point, feeling like myself is having my regular hair color. Actually, I'm kind of lying, because I did put Manic Panic's Hot Hot Pink in my hair just without bleach, and it kind of just put a tint to it, but it obviously didn't lighten it. I'm not going to be bleaching my hair for a while. I'm saying that, but there's a voice in my back of my head that's like, I'm trying not to, because I promised myself, because I've been thinking about this whole hair thing for a good, I think I've been thinking about it for about 6 months. And I promised myself, well, you can't do both. I know technically you can, but I told myself you either have short hair and bleach the heck out of it all you want, or you grow your hair long and then you decide what to do. In other words, I'm not going to bleach it now and then let's grow it out, because then I'm going to have to cut all that. Or medium length, let's bleach it. I have to have like a big afro before I'm like, okay, let's color it. That's it. So I'm going to upload this one. Why am I talking like that? I talk weird at night. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's the Asperger's. I talk very differently when I'm not engaging another human being. I sound like a robot. But so I'm gonna upload this video after I edit it. I feel like I shouldn't edit it, but I know if I don't edit it, I guarantee you that there's like a few moments where I've repeated myself 50,000 times, and I hate that. But I'm gonna upload this one, and then I will upload the video where I'm talking about my health, because I think this is a little more positive. So, other than that, that's it, and I hope you guys are having a good weekend, whenever you see this. So, see you later. There we go. This says, so here we go. And I'll show you, these were, trying to get it out of the light. So no matter where I go, the light is there. Oh, this is just, okay, there we go. It just has a Batman design. I'm not sure how well you can see that. I am not fighting with this lamp anymore. It's the color with. So, oh, for crying out loud.